Africa has an embarrassment of rock art riches. When we hear the words African rock art, we think of the exquisite paintings made by the San in southern Africa and the evocative desert paintings of the Tassili in North Africa. But Africa has dozens more rock art traditions, made by many different groups and over thousands of years. Let us take a quick journey across the mother continent to explore these traditions and reconnect with the lands of our oldest ancestors and the place where art began. We begin in the dry deserts of the Sahara. Here we find some of Africa's oldest exposed rock paintings and engravings. We will see even older, buried rock art images later. But for now, let us travel back some 12,000 years to the end of the last ice age. 12,000 years ago, much of the Sahara was a wet and rich grassland, supporting great herds of plains animals. In the rock art of this time, we see antelope. Given that the first modern human exit from Africa eventually ended in disaster, the story of the subsequent exit, as told by the genetic picture of people today, is very revealing and simple. According to Professor Stephen Oppenheimer, it turns out there was ultimately only one successful exit from Africa. How do we know this?
Essentially, it's because there's only one genetic line coming out of Africa. When we're tracing migrations using DNA, one of the best ways of doing this is using DNA which doesn't get mixed and shuffled at each generation. And there are two small parts of our genome which fit this bill. And one of them is mitochondrial DNA, which we all have, but is only transmitted down our maternal side. And the other is the Y chromosome, which only males have. The mitochondrial DNA, which I'll concentrate on, is formed in little organelles in our cells called the mitochondria. They're rather like little batteries which provide the energy for the cell to perform, but they also have their own DNA, and when they divide, the DNA divides with them.
Lewis Williams realized that far from a general view of San life, the art was focused on a particular part of San experience, the spirit world journeys and experiences of San doctors, or shamans. Thus, many features depict aspects of the all-important trance dance, the venue in which San shamans gained access to the spirit world, access through the ritual dance. Around a flickering fire, with the chants of women, rhythmic clapping and hyperventilation, the spirit leaves the body, traveling to the world of trance. Here the San will have powerful visions, visions of God's place, visions of magical things.
In the remote northwestern corner of Australia lie the Kimberley Ranges, home to the unique and exquisite rock art known as the Bradshaw paintings, or Guion. But despite their undisputed uniqueness and beauty, they remain enshrouded in mystery. At a time when most of Europe lay deep beneath the ice sheets, these paintings were created with a freshness and precision unseen anywhere else in the world. But who were the people who painted them? Where did they come from? When did they live? And what happened to them? Their unmistakable stone faces are locked in a conspiracy of silence. When and how were they carved? Why were these monumental statues erected? What did they represent? And why was such a distinctive style created and adhered to? Numbering almost 1,000, they are distributed over an island that measures only 15 miles by 7 miles. An island that is a mere pinprick in a vast ocean, lying some 2,400 miles off the western shores of South America. further into the cave, the depiction of animals begins. The cathedral-like Salon Noir chamber. This chamber, where the smallest sound reverberates magnificently, is the largest and highest on the right side of the cave system. It seems to lie at the center of Neo's purpose. But the paintings are not spread over the entire surface of the cave walls. Instead, they are grouped together in separate, generally concave panels composed of animals, mostly bison, horses, ibex, and deer. As in the majority of Paleolithic cave paintings, these animals are represented in profile, without a baseline, as if suspended in air. The two giraffe, one large male in front of a smaller female, were engraved side by side on the sandstone's weathered surface. The larger of the two is over 18 feet tall, combining several techniques, including scraping, smoothing, and deep engraving of the outlines. Jean-Claude estimated the age of the petroglyphs to be between 7,000 and 10,000 years old. The wonder of Stonehenge is plain to see, but its meaning remains enshrouded in mystery. Why was it built over so many generations? And who had both the imagination and the power to carry it out? Megaliths, literally meaning large stone slabs, had become the most conspicuous forms of expression within the European landscape for the people of this time. Indeed, by 2000 BC, Stonehenge had become the ritual center of southern Britain.